grace is the power. So, no, it's not an excuse for sin to abound in your life. In fact, one of the chapters of Romans, beginning, I forgot, Romans 6 maybe, it says, so should, we continue in sin, and it says no, kind of thing. So God gives us more than enough grace. He gives us more than enough power to live a holy life, to live the way we should, all right? And then in Ephesians 3:20, it says, we talked about this verse last week, now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. That's that grace. So the power that worketh in us, the grace, is God. Through that grace, God is able to do more than we can think or ask. And in some places it says even dream of. In some translations it says even dream of. So God is able to do more than we can ask or think through the power, through the grace that he has given us. So there's a lot of things that I think, I can't do that. We really don't have that excuse. We don't really have that excuse. And as a stewardship lesson, God wants you to abundantly give. Paul says in 2 Corinthians 8:1-3, and this is in the Living Bible, and it's pieces because that's 3 verses. It says, now I want to tell you what God has done for the churches in Macedonia. Though they have been going through hard times, they have mixed their wonderful joy with their deep poverty, and the result has been an overflow of giving to others. They gave not only what they could afford, but far more. And I can testify that they did it because they wanted to, and not because of nagging on my part. I think that's funny that Paul would say, nagging on my part. There are a few verses down in verse 7, it says, now I want you, he's talking to the Corinthian church, now I want you to be leaders also in the spirit of cheerful giving. All right? And we have talked about this before, but as our church partners with God, and that's where we need to be and what we need to do personally, individually, and as corporately as our church, that we want to partner with God. God wants our church in this community to set an example as proper givers. That's where we need to be. We need to be known as that church. And it's kind of gotten out there. People ask, and they'll ask me sometimes, well, what percentage of people in your church tithe? And I love to say, I don't know, 90%, and they're just floored. They are floored. They're like, really? We, maybe 15, And no, our people know. Our people know who God is. And that's basically the end all of it. If you know who God is and what he can do, and that he can do more than you can ask or think, you willfully and cheerfully get into his program, because that's where you got to be. That's the best place to be. That's where the things come in, where the harvest comes in, where the joy comes in. Because remember, even these people in Macedonia, they had joy first. They were living for the Lord. They had joy first. So that's it. That's the vision in this for our church. All right, let's stand and enter into